Aloha guys, my name is Chef Adam Gilbert with Plantation Tavern. Welcome to Kids Cooking Local. Today for you we're going to make a Kahlua pig quesadilla with a pineapple mint salsa. So come on, let's go. You can make this without Kahlua pig if you wish. If you don't know how to make Kahlua pig, you can buy some brands in the local grocery store. Kyoki's, Keonis, and I think there's a couple other brands out there. But pretty much all stores sell prepackaged Kahlua pig. But again, you don't have to use that. We're going to use some mozzarella cheese. We're going to season it with some ingredients I'll show you later. We also have some cilantro from Kahlua Farm. I wrap them in a wet paper towel, leave in my fridge to keep it fresher. I just wrap the stems and put a little bit of water on top. We have some fresh basil from Kahlua Farm as well. They also provided us with a lime. This is very simple, actually, simple recipe. We're going to make a pineapple relish, or a pineapple salsa, if you will. We'll do that first, and then we'll construct the quesadilla and cook it for you, okay? So first thing we're going to do is clean the pineapple. There's several ways. I'd like to do small width sections, slicing downward to get all the pits out, the little brown pukas that could be sticking out there. So we're just going to cut this off. Disregard the edges. And then we're going to use half the pineapple for this recipe. So we'll just half it. And this. So we want to take the core out, right? So just slice like right along the core. And at the end of it, you should be left with a rectangle. That's hard. What you want to do with this is throw it in a water, glass of ice water. Just flavor it up. It's delicious. You can gnaw on it or whatever. I don't like to waste anything, so it's kind of a key little weird thing. Throw it in a Sprite or something. This we're just going to dice small, okay? So you want to end up with little cubes, about this big. Just put them over here in our mixing bowl. You know, the thing with cooking local is constantly utilize as much ingredients that can be grown within 10 miles of your home. Most of my recipes include 5 ingredients, 5 to 7, and then some of those ingredients contain their own recipes, but really simple is cleaner. We want to cut the onion a little bit thinner, and you can take your time and do this, please. I'm pretty quick at it, but we're going to use half an onion here, half a red onion diced fine. Some people would call, so there's definitions to all cuts. I would call this a brunoise, which means it's 1/16 inch square. But that really, just cut it the way you can, get it in the bowl, have fun with it. The basics of a salsa are essentially herb, a fresh herb, citrus, some seasonings, and whatever you want to highlight. Today we're going to highlight pineapple, but you can also use mango or papaya even. If you're not familiar with Kahlua Farm, I enjoy talking about them quite a bit. They have a large, first of all, they're an organic farm that's been here for like 35 years, and they're also have a large homeless program where they help homeless people on the Waianae coast with 18-month transitional housing, which allows the community to help farm for themselves, grow food for their families, but also get back into the community. It's a really good farm. It's a really good community. It's a really good program. Right now, we're pulling off the leaves to the cilantro, yeah? So gonna grab some here. You can use the stems. They're just a little bit woody and chewy, so I just like to kind of pluck at it. If you got a little bit of stem, it's no big deal really, but really if you just put your hand on it and slide up, it kind of just comes off itself, right? And you're kind of stuck with this, and you just want to grab a little of those guys so you don't waste. This you throw in a stock, you save for later. You can chop it up, throw it in a pesto. You can do anything with this. I actually make pesto out of pretty much everything that most people could throw away. So we're just gonna rough chop this. Give it some of that fresh flavor. I personally love cilantro. It's like my favorite thing. It's a fresh, clean addition to most recipes. Do the equal amount cilantro and mint for this. You're gonna get a recipe for it, but it's gonna come out to pine nuts, garlic, Parmesan cheese, and olive oil. It's really good mixed with pasta, or you can use it as a marinade or on a salad dressing. It's really good stuff. You can also use that for a chimichurri. Even Mari's Gardens sells amazing produce. They have this butter lettuce, it's to die for. So next, we have this jalapeno. With a jalapeno, you're definitely going to want to put on a glove before you touch it because it's going to leave a spicy residue on your fingers. It's best to put on a glove. Okay? We're only going to use half of this as well, so I'm going to cut it the lengthways. If you leave the seeds in to any pepper, it's going to be hotter. So it's spicier on the inside of a pepper than on the outside. The outside tends to be sweeter. It's more of a vegetable. So it depends how hot you want your salsa or relish, right? I'm going to do a little half-half. I'm going to cut some out and leave some. Really, the recipes are up to you. Play with them, have fun. You can, if you don't have an ingredient, you can substitute any fruit for this. You don't have to add tomato if you don't want. Use what you got in your house or what your neighbors grow or what you can have fun with. Recipes are meant to be played with and do your own thing. It's not stuck and it has to be a certain way, you know. If you have crushed red chili pepper flakes, just use that. If you want it spicy instead of finding a jalapeno, that's fine too. It's all about what your budget can do, what you got, how to cook for your family. Most of the conversations in my house anyway, I got 2 kids. Most of the conversations happen around the dinner table, right? So if you wanted to get fancy with this, you could grind it in a blender, or you could grind half of it in a blender and make it more like a salsa where it's wet, which I've done as well, but really, it's all you need to do. Simple, 10-minute project. First thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our pan on to kind of get it preheated, okay? I'm going to come over here. We're going to turn it on medium heat. This is a gas stove, so be aware that gas is a lot hotter than electric, right? If I was at home cooking in my electric stove, I would probably put it on number 6, just to warm it up and then adjust it as you need. For this recipe, we're going to use half oil, half butter. The reason we're doing that is I would rather just use butter because there's more flavor. But butter burns. So if you add a little bit of oil, it can be any oil, canola oil, olive oil, vegetable oil. And I'm going to turn it down immediately because this is pretty hot. I'm just going to let that sit and let the butter melt. And right now I probably put on number 3 at your on your home stove. Just kind of get that ready. We've chosen to use Sinaloa tortillas. My buddy owns a company. It's a local company. It's a Kauai family. So if you're buying these, you are supporting local as well. Even though you see it everywhere, it may seem corporate, but it's not. So we have our 2 tortillas. We're going to build the quesadilla so we can cook it, plate it, and top it with our salsa, okay? First, we're going to put our mozzarella cheese down a good layer. You can use any cheese for this. I'm a believer in Boursin is really good on this. Andouille cheese is really good on it. It's a little pricier. The mozzarella is a great substitute, but even if you want to go cheddar or whatever you got, I don't recommend American cheese, frankly, but all these cheeses are good. We're going to season the cheese though, okay, with some basil. This is dried basil. I have some onion powder, okay, and some garlic powder. And the reason I'm seasoning it, excuse me, just to give it some extra flavor. I'm going to sprinkle our Kahlua pig around here. Again, this can be vegetarian. You don't have to add Kahlua pig. All right. Okay. And then we're going to sprinkle some more cheese on top. We'll press it down firmly so it kind of sticks itself together. And you don't want to go to the edges, okay? It's going to spill out into the pan, and you're going to have a cheese explosion. So, check our pan here. Again, we'll season the top a little bit with some dried basil. And a little bit of onion powder. A bit of garlic powder. As you go, place this guy on top, press it in firm, and then just get ready for our pan to get warm. Our pan is almost ready, so I'm actually going to turn the heat up a little bit. When the butter starts to brown, you'll get a little bit of smoke out of the pan. That's when you want to put your quesadilla in. I have a sixth grader and a freshman, and they love this for a snack. After school, oh my God, they come home. Again, we have fruit trees at our house. We'll just grab any fruit off the tree, a papaya, mango. You can do avocado if you got an avocado tree, and just mix it with like a guacamole, which is very similar actually to a salsa. All right. So we're getting golden brown. We're almost there. Get our plates ready. Get our salsa. We're going to stir in those green onions here. And this is where it comes to be patient, but be aware. It's almost ready. Don't rush it, but don't be so comfortable it burns, okay, guys? All right, so we're going to flip this. Now, I'm going to use a rubber spatula. You can use any kind of spatula you got. I'm going to rest my hand on this side. It's not hot, by the way. It's actually almost cool to touch. Go right in the middle, and then I'm going to flip. Okay? I hope everybody's staying safe out there with the whole COVID that's going on. Hopefully you guys can take something home from this and make some good food for your families. So the top side absorbed most of the butter and the oil. The bottom's left with less. Dark. It'll be almost like a seared tortilla. Yeah? So the cooking is to make it golden, right? The butter and the oil. If you want to press a paper towel on top of it, it'll absorb some of that oil so you're not getting a greasy bite. And you're just getting a fresh tortilla. If you don't want to, that's your culiana, man. That's fine too, right? This will just absorb some of that grease. But the grease is really necessary to get it fried properly. Okay. We're going to cut this in sixes. So we're just going to cut it like a pizza. You can cut it in eighths, whatever. All right? We're going to put a couple of these on. Make a little triangle. You can do whatever you want. Just lay it down. Doesn't matter. All right. And we're going to take our fresh pineapple relish. Scoop some right on that middle. And how's that? You have a wonderful appetizer. All right, guys. Thank you again for cooking with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you for Kids Cooking Local. I hope you enjoy your dish, your Kahlua pig quesadilla with a pineapple mint relish. Again, my name's Chef Adam Gilbert with Plantation Tavern. You have a blessed day. Aloha.